Coming up on this week's episode of SVG Motors Weekly.
And a friend of mine said, hey, you know what? You have a personality. You need to try to go sell cars. Not sell cars. What?
Behind me, the 2018 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab marks the 100-year anniversary of the Silverado.
Somebody in this room is going to win a car.
Hi, I'm Corey Moore. Today on Tech Tips, we're going to talk about storing your vehicle.
Need a car, need it bad, need something better than what you had. Not sure what you want or where to go. Well, there's one place that you need to know. SVG is the place for me, where you get superior value guaranteed.
Welcome to another episode of SVG Motors Weekly. This was a great week for me because I was able to get out and attend some really neat events and meet some amazing people. In this segment, I get to introduce you to Greg Fay, a really good friend of mine. We go to church together, but moreover, he is one of the most active people in the community there in Centerville area. And anyway, he's part of the Centerville Noon Optimist Club, and he asked me to come speak to all the members there. And we went to the Heavier Than Air brewery there in Centerville. And I had an opportunity to speak to them and kind of tell my story, which was humbling to me.
Steve, we're not trying to embarrass you here, but we really love your last commercial.
You like that?
So we thought if anybody hasn't seen it, Greg, you have it ready. It's got a cool little
Great job last month. We did awesome. But we got to keep the momentum going. We got to sell some cars, and I got an idea. I'm thinking what we do is move our customers up a couple years in their vehicles and keep their payments close to the same. You feel me? Move them up a couple years, keep their payments the same. Move them up a couple years, keep their payments the same. Move them up a couple years, keep their payments the same. Move them up a couple years, keep their payments the same. Move them up a couple years, keep the payments the same. Move them up a couple years, keep the payments the same. Move them up a couple years, keep the payment the same.
I want to introduce real quick Steve Van Gorder, the owner of SVG Motors. We are so excited to have you here, and we're so excited to hear your story. Please share it with us.
All right, thank you, Greg. I'm a pretty normal guy, I like to think. I never set out to be a car salesman. It's not like I was in school going, what do I want to be? I want to be a car salesman, you know? That's not how it happened, okay? Not at all. My dad was in the Air Force, and we traveled. Every 3 years, we were somewhere new. I was born in Miami, Florida, and but prior to that, his first assignment in the Air Force was Madrid, Spain, where he met my mother. And I was the net result of that meeting. And I have the best parents in the world. They still live together and are married, and just a great, I talk to my dad almost on a daily basis and ask for advice on how to do things. He's an aircraft mechanic and works for Delta. And my mom has had odd and end jobs. Her last one was here. She was working at the golf course on base, driving the golf cart and handing out beer. And I get people all the time stop me and say, "Where's your mom? Where's your mom?" She's about this tall, talks really strong Spanish accent, but she is. I get my personality from my mother. My dad, on the other hand, is complete opposite. He just as soon not talk to anybody. Yeah, traveled all my life, different bases, and I guess it was hard growing up, going to different bases, because you make friends, and before you know it, you're thrown into meeting a new person. There's probably some people in this room who are military brats like me who can appreciate what I'm talking about, having gone from base to base to base and having to meet new people. But I guess it helped me become the person I needed to be able to meet new people and not make it so difficult to do that. But I was working out there right out of high school. I was taking classes on base at Park College. I don't know if some of you are familiar with Park College. On most Air Force bases, they have a program for dependents to go to school. So I was taking classes at Park College, and I was working out at the Base Exchange, the BX there in the stereo department. And a friend of mine said, hey, you know what? You have a personality. You need to try to go sell cars. I thought, sell cars? What? So anyway, yeah, what the? Sell cars? So I did that. I went downtown, and I got to tell you, right out of the gate, I sucked. And anyhow, I was there for 3 years, and Mom and Dad said, hey, we're leaving Idaho. We're going to another place. We're going to Dayton, Ohio. And I said, I mean, I know they got a pretty good football team, but where is Ohio? That's what I said. Yeah.
Rivalries in America are almost as old as the country itself. Ohio State versus Michigan. Coca-Cola versus Pepsi. And Ford versus Chevrolet. Each trying to outdo the other year after year. And it looks like Chevy isn't backing down anytime soon. This is the 2018 Chevy Silverado 4-door crew cab high country. Chevy's answer to the Ford F-150. Behind me, the 2018 Chevy Silverado crew cab marks the 100-year anniversary of the Silverado, a classic American automobile. And I must say, the styling is just superb. You know, everybody nowadays likes the black wheels. I just love the white diamond with the chrome accents, the chrome grille, running boards, the 20-inch chrome wheels, the mirrors. That's a sharp truck. It has a 5.3-liter V8 engine with an 8-speed automatic gearbox that gives you 355 horsepower. You know, driving this truck, it's so, I mean, it's a work truck, but it's so smooth. It's kind of like, not sure if I should be listening to Kenny Chesney or Kenny G. Nah, Kenny Chesney. And for those techies out there, this thing is loaded. It even has lane assist. And at first, it'll freak you out if you're not ready for it. As you're driving, if you start to veer off of the road, it literally will, you'll feel the steering wheel nudge you back in. And I think it's an amazing feature. The technology is unbelievable with these vehicles. It also has heated and cooled seats. It's 33 degrees right now, and that heated seat feels really good on the backside, if you know what I mean. But you know how Dayton is. The summers can be really, really warm, and cooled seats on the leather, nice feature. New for 2018, rear vision cameras now come standard on all models. Step up to the high country and get the 8-inch MyLink system with navigation. But how does it drive? Fantastic! The acceleration in this truck is awesome. You can just feel the torque. I love it.
sponsored by the Rotary Club. Without further ado, I have a gentleman here that's going to make a big announcement to make the 49th Eaton Rotary Club after prom a little more exciting. Are you ready to hear who that is? Come on. Big round. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, Eaton Rotary Club is sponsoring its 49th after prom program. Give it up for Steve Van Bruder with SVGs Story.
Hey, how's it going? Did somebody say something about a party? Huh? We're going to have one heck of a party. I plan to be here with you guys, playing some games, challenging some of you at some of the games that we're going to have. Dave Kirsch asked me, can you help out with the after party to try to get every single student to come up? What would be a good gift to give to get everybody to show up for a chance to win a car? So we're going to give you guys an opportunity. Somebody in this room is going to win a car. Who needs a car? Does anybody in here need a car? All right. High five. What's up? Hey! Hey! What's up? How you guys doing? Having a good time? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I love you, Steve. I love you too. Having fun? You guys having fun yet? All right. Now what? Sure. After prom party? Huh? Who's going to the after prom party? Are you going? Yes! Yes! Why are you going? Because you're going to be there. Okay. There's probably a better reason. What is another good reason why you might go? There's going to be a car. There it is! There's going to be a car there! Sharp, young man. Listen, why do you think we do this after prom party? Why do you think 49 years they've been doing it? Why do they do it? Because we love you. That's right. Okay, I want to get a little bit serious with you. A little bit serious. The reason why we do the after prom is because we realize that we were your age a little while ago, and we know that it's exciting times. Prom is very exciting time. It's a big part of your life, and a lot of people like to resort to drinking alcohol or worse. And what we want you to do is come have fun with us, because that's where the party's really at. You don't need drugs to have a good time. You can be a little bit crazy like me without drugs. And I tell you, if you want to make something of yourself, you can do it. Each and every one of you are special in your own way. You guys are all have a shot to be whoever you want to be. I believe that in my heart. So I'm excited and hoping to see each and every one of you at the after prom party, because we are going to have a blast. A blast. So that being said, look forward to seeing you. But I'm gonna take my chances and see what Dayton, Ohio has to offer. And I start over at Jack Hulsman's. How many of you remember Jack Hulsman's in Fairborn? And I started there selling cars at the Nissan dealership, and it was back to doing that, selling cars and having a good time. And I worked my way. I was with Jack Hulsman for 3 years. He passed away, and a guy came on board who bought the company. His name was Jeff Schmidt. And Jeff oftentimes would say to people, you know, I didn't hire Steve, I inherited him, jokingly. But Jeff and I had a great relationship, and I worked my way up through the company and became the sales manager, general sales manager, general manager of all the dealerships, and then vice president. But I'm thankful to him for allowing me to do that, and I learned a heck of a lot from him. And unfortunately, that didn't work out. And in 2013, I left Jeff Schmidt Auto Group, having been there for 20 years. And I was scared to death. And you know, I laid back for about a year, and then I decided, you know what, I love this, I want to get back into it. And I bought this little lot in Vandalia. And literally, it's about half the size of this room. And we started selling cars, and we had 3 employees.
That might be exaggerating, half the size of this room.
Greg was in there. And it was embarrassing. I mean, when you went to sign your paperwork, the bathroom was right there, okay? So we had a lot of fond memories there. We were there for about 3 years, or no, 3 years. We were there for about a year. We bought Englewood, bought another lot in Englewood because we were doing really well there. My dream was to become a GM dealer. That was always my dream. And I called everybody that would take a phone call. Every one of these dealers. Hey, are you interested in selling? Most of them didn't take me serious. And a guy by the name of Ron Garrett in Greenville, Ohio, took my call and was willing to meet. And I met with him and his wife, and we talked. And it took us almost 6 months, but we made a deal. And on July 2015, I bought Ron Garrett Chevrolet, which is in Greenville, Ohio, now SVG Chevrolet. Shortly thereafter, there was a guy that called me and said, hey, we've got a Chrysler store in Eaton, Ohio. He owned 2 stores, and his other store was in Cleveland. And he said, I can't do both. I recently had a heart attack. I can't do both. But we ended up buying the Chrysler store. And about the same time that Chrysler store was going down, we were making that deal, a guy called me. I remember exactly where I was. I was in the Kroger's parking lot at Austin Landing, and I got a phone call on a Sunday. He says, hey, I've got a lot downtown Dayton. Car lot. It was an old car lot. You could buy it. It said auction. I said, I am not interested. And he said, the auction's tomorrow. You ought to come look at it. It's a great deal. Da, da, da. We bought that lot. Today, that lot's on Shoot Mill. It used to be Mormon Pontiac. Anybody been there? Yeah. It's a really big dealership. I never thought that we could fill it. Well, we've managed to really fill that place, and they're doing well. This month, we're hoping to sell 125 cars out of that store. And then Urbana happened. I got a phone call from a friend at GM. He says, hey, can you duplicate what you did in Greenville? Let's do it again over in Urbana. And July of last year, we bought Urbana, which gave us 4 locations. And recently, some of you may have seen that we purchased SVG Motors in Beaver Creek, the old Eastgate Ford lot. There on 35. And it's a great big facility. We can take the building in Dayton and fit it inside this building. It's huge. And it's been tough. I will say I have never worked so hard in my entire life. But I will say I love what I do. I enjoy what I do, and maybe to a fault.
In case you were wondering if this was a truck only made for the rugged life of a farmer or a contractor, you're wrong. The High Country Silverado treads the line of being a vehicle of utility and luxury. If it's comfort you're looking for, you're in luck. This truck contains an upscale cabin featuring exclusive interiors of saddle brown or jet black with gray stitching, as well as premium leather front bucket seats with High Country logos on the headrests. It is distinguished by a unique chrome grille with horizontal chrome bars, LED projector headlamps, and body color front and rear bumpers. If Cadillac ever decided to have a truck, this would be it.
I've driven Italian sports cars that are not as much fun to drive as this truck. I gotta tell you, I get caught up in the day-to-day work of running the business, and I've forgotten how nice this truck is to drive. I may just have to take this one home. I mean, it is a nice truck. 2018 Chevy Silverado High Country. I love the interior color, the exterior. It's got all the bells and whistles. Just a fun all-around vehicle that suits me. Just feels comfortable. You know, it's not just it suits me, but it suits the working man. It suits the businessman. It's just you know, I can see myself going out to a fancy restaurant and valet parking with another couple and not having to apologize to ask them to sit in the back seat. There's tons of room in this, and the interior is just plush. The seats feel like, I mean, they're more comfortable than my couch. You know, the only thing this is missing is a seat recliner so I can put my feet up. Then I guess I wouldn't be able to touch the pedals. That's what cruise control's for.
Hi, I'm Corey Morris. Today on Tech Tips, we're going to talk about storing your vehicle. Over the course of your vehicle's life, inevitably, you're going to probably have to store it for a period of time. Whether it's your favorite convertible that you drive during the summer, or you're leaving for a 2-week business trip. Taking some of the following precautions can help prevent you from coming home to your vehicle with a dead battery, ruined tires, or engine damage. Tip number 1, keep it covered. For those summer drive vehicles only, keeping it covered during its exile is a must. The cover will help protect it and keep it at a relatively comfortable temperature for your vehicle. Tip number 2 is to clean it up. Before you put your vehicle away for that 2-week business trip, it's always good to give it one last cleaning. Water drops and bird droppings that are left unattended on the vehicle can damage your paint. This is an easy step that should not be overlooked. Tip number 3 is top off the tank. This is a tip for long-term storage. Fill up the tank if your vehicle is going to be stored for more than 30 days. Having your tank full will prevent moisture from accumulating inside of your tank, and it will also help keep your seals from drying out. Tip number 4 is keep it charged. If left unattended, the battery will eventually lose its charge. If possible, while you're away, have someone every few weeks come over and start your vehicle for you. This will allow the battery to regain some life, and the engine components will have the chance to be properly lubricated. Now, if you can't have someone to check on your car while you're away, putting the battery on a trickle charge can fix the problem of having a dead battery. Now, the trickle charge will actually provide enough power to keep that battery charged. Our last tip, tip number 5, is to inflate your tires. Now, if you plan on storing your car away for several months, it's a very good idea to make sure that your tires are properly inflated. Now, if your vehicle is left sitting for too long, it can create flat spots on the bottom of your tires from the weight of the vehicle. This process is sped up, especially during the winter months, because of the cold temperatures that cause your tire pressure to drop quickly. These are just a few tips to keep in mind when storing your vehicle for prolonged periods of time. Whether it's your favorite hot rod for those summer drives, or your everyday driver that you leave behind for a few weeks for that business trip. We put a lot of money into our cars and we want them to last. So taking these few steps can help make that happen. Once again, my name is Corey Morris. On another episode of Tech Tips, stay safe out there.
it's my belief that if you set your mind to something, it can happen. And I'm not saying believe me because I'm telling you that. I'm saying it because I believe it to be true. I've seen it in my own life. I didn't come from a bunch of money, but I had some people who took an interest in me, and I was like a sponge. I sat down with anybody that I could talk to that I thought could help me with some knowledge, and it's been a fun ride. And I will tell you that I don't know how many of you are business owners in here. You know, you gotta know you want this thing, and then you gotta just go for it. You know, and when we talk about goals, I think people talk about the goals thing is oversaid, but the reality in my mind is that if we can quiet that little negative person inside of us, because we all have it, I have it. I read somewhere that 87% of our self-talk is negative, and we think 40,000 thoughts a day. So you can imagine it's nonstop. You can't. And sometimes you got friends telling you can't do it. You got family telling you can't do something, and then you've got that voice in your head telling you can't do something. And I guess at some point you got to come to terms with the fact that I can hear it. It's there. I recognize the fact, and I'm not different. There's nothing different about me that I have these negative thoughts and I'm talking myself out of these things. But I can choose not to listen to those words. In fact, and start saying things that I don't even believe. 3 years ago, if I told you that I would sell 4,000 cars a year, I'd laugh at that. And I even said some things to some people that know me, that we would be the #1 auto retailer in the Dayton market. And I said that, and I really didn't believe it. Today I do. I appreciate you guys allowing me to come in and talk to you guys. If I can impress anything upon you with my story is believe that it's possible, because it is. It is possible, and your only enemy is that person in your head. If you can beat that person, you got it made. You know, because nobody out there knows what you're really capable of.
So it was very humbling for me to be able to spend some time, rub elbows, and speak to all of these community members at the Centerville Noon Optimist Club, people who have started their own businesses, managers of businesses, just people who are actively involved with giving back to the community, and it was a great experience. Thanks for watching another episode of SVG Motors Weekly, and if you haven't done it yet, go to youtube.com and subscribe to the SVG Motors channel, or go to our Facebook page and like our page. And last but not least, if you want to see future episodes, go to your DVR and search SVG Motors and catch future episodes. Thanks again for watching.